Shall I start now?
Okay.
You are welcome to attend my presentation, Phonemic Principle of Pattern Congruity and Economy. I'm Chamali Sandunika, fourth year student of Department of Language and Communication Studies, Trincomalee Campus, Eastern University, Sri Lanka. Before I enter to my presentation, I get this time as an opportunity to express my deep gratitude to Senior Lecturer Dr. Niruba Jayasundara for providing this valuable opportunity to me. Next, we move to outline of this presentation. Next slide. First, I'm going to talk about what's meant by principles of phonemic analysis. Under that, there are 4 principles, so I will discuss one by one. Principle of contrast and complementation, principle of phonetic similarity, then our topic, principle of neatness of pattern or pattern congruity, then principle of economic, finally conclusion. So next slide. So what is meant by principles of phonemic analysis? Principles of phonemic analysis refers to principles which help us establish the phonemes of a given language. As we learned, phonemes mean smallest contrastive sound unit in a particular language. So, these principles of phonemic analysis helps to establish phonemes of a given language. Pocket in 1958 talks about 4 fundamental principles of phonemic analysis. They are principle of contrast and complementation, principle of phonetic similarity, principle of neatness of pattern, we can call it as pattern congruity, then principle of economy. So, I thought before move to our main topic, it's better to recall about these other 2 principles also. So, in next slide, principle of contrastive. Here, 2 phones occur in the same environment and result in semantic contrast. Here we deal with minimal pairs. Minimal pairs mean 2 sounds which have different meanings and differ in only one sound occurring in the same environment. You can see in this example that pair fast and past. In English, so this in fast and past, oof and up are this initial sound change the meaning. This up and up are different phonemes. They are contrasting to each other. I just recall your memory. I don't go too deeply. So this is about this principle of contrastive. Then principle of complementation. Here we deal with allophones. Allophone means phonetic variants of a phoneme in a particular language. So in this example, up in spin and the in pin. So in the word spin, up is unaspirated. We pronounce it without puff of air. And then pin in aspirated, we pronounce it with puff of air. So these are allophones of the same phoneme up in English. So these allophones appear in different phonetic environments and never contrast with each other. So they don't change the meaning here. So next slide. Principle of phonetic similarity. Here identifies sounds that are similar in their phonetic features. Sounds must not only contrast in meaning, but also share enough phonetic similarities to be considered variations of the same sound. So in the example, the it in tap and the it in stop are similar in their place and manner of articulation. Despite slight variations in aspiration, it makes them all allophones of the same phoneme it. So next we move to our topic, that principle of pattern congruity. So what's mean by pattern congruity? Pattern congruity refers to the systematic organizations of this of the set of phonemes and their distribution. Charles Hockett's concept of symmetry refers to the balanced and organized structure of both phonemes and allophonic variations within a language. So this pattern congruity is guaranteed by this the symmetry of the pattern is guaranteed by this principle. Pattern congruity states that there is usually a pattern in the way sounds are organized in a language. It means if a language has pattern where voiceless phonemes contrast with voice phonemes, then this contrast would be present through all the sounds of the language. So this is known as the pattern congruity. So this pattern congruity also known as phonetic patterning and symmetrical patterning. In next slide. This pattern congruity varies between languages. It mostly happens unconsciously and seems to help human memory store many items efficiently. In English, many consonant phonemes are unconsciously paired together. For example, up and ub. This voiceless bilabial stop is paired with voiced bilabial stop. So it is paired with ud. This voiceless alveolar stop is paired with voiced alveolar stop. Likewise, uf is paired with Voiceless labiodental fricative is paired with voiced labiodental fricative. So likewise, in English, many consonant phonemes are unconsciously paired together. So, in addition, up and ut and uk behave in very similar way to one another with aspirated and unaspirated form. They each have an aspirated form which occurs at the beginning of a word, as in pill, till, kill, and unaspirated form after s, as in spill, still, skill, like way. In next slide. By pattern congruity, we also mean that relationships are far more important than the phonetic characteristics of the sound. For example, the allophones of it are pronounced at different points of articulation. In words like fountain, little, in the word fountain, the allophones of it is realized at the back of the mouth, and in the word little is at the glottis. For this reason, they are ought not to be considered allophones of a dental stop. They are phonetically similar to glottal stop. So then we will see how pattern congruity occur in obstruent cluster. Next slide. So obstruents are consonants that are formed by obstructing airflow, creating a noticeable noise. So this includes stops, plosives or fricatives, then affricates. So this obstruent cluster refers to a group of two or more obstruent consonants that occur together in a word without any intervening vowels. In English, obstruent clusters have uniform voicing. It means all the consonants of the clusters either voiced or voiceless. Another thing is, in obstruent clusters, mixed voice don't occur phonemically. It means if it is a voiceless a cluster, it always combine with voiceless. If it is voiced, it always combine with voiced. As I told, here there are three types of obstruent, stops, fricatives, and plosives. So in next slide. So next we'll see how these voiceless obstruent clusters occur. Voiceless obstruent clusters are pronounced without vibrating the vocal cords. So here in this cluster, all consonants are voiceless. Obstruent clusters occur in initial, medial, or final position. First, we will see initial obstruent clusters. Is up, is up in spill. So here, both is and up are voiceless, and is it in star, both is and it are voiceless. Likewise, is in skin, both is and it are voiceless. Then in medial obstruent clusters, it's in text. So uk is stop and is a voiceless stop. Then voiceless villi stop. Then this is voiceless alveolar fricative. Then these are for with these uks. This cluster is voiceless. Then uftin after uf is fricative and it is stop, so they are voiceless. Then ukt in actor, uk is voiceless stop. Then it is voiceless bilabial stop. Then they are voiceless. Then final, next slide. Then final obstruent clusters. Upt in next. Yeah. Then next slide. Final obstruent clusters. Yeah. Upt in kept. Here, up is stop and it is stop. Both are voiceless. So finally, it voiceless obstruent cluster. Like ist in past, is and it are voiceless. Then isk in task, is fricative, voiceless. Then and uk is voiceless system. So they are voiceless. Then we will say voiced obstruent clusters. In up in rope, both up and ut are voiced. Up is voiced bilabial stop. Then ut is it is a voiced stop. So these are then finally makes voiced cluster. Likewise, uks in x, both uk and uks are voiced. Then ooped in loud, both and ud are voiced. So next slide. So in pattern congruity, we want to know about this structural imbalance. So we call this as hole in the pattern. So structural imbalance in pattern congruity occurs when there is an irregularity or a gap in the pattern or arrangement of linguistic elements within a language. In examples, phonemes up, ut, uk. The language has phonemes up, ut, uk, but lacks up, ud, uk. This imbalance could lead to change where additional phonemes are introduced to fill the gaps, such as up, ud, uk, thereby achieving a more balanced phonemic system. So we move to our next principle, this final one. Next slide. Principle of economy. Generally, economy means gain, thrift, or less burden and saving. So this concept is very much relevant in linguistics too. The term has been popularized after Andrew Martin, who explained this concept in his work, Economy Does Changements Phonetics. Language as a whole is very much balanced, though it is open to constant shifts or changes. So this balancing is taken care of by this principle of economy. Linguistic economy is a balancing measure. So next slide. The principle of economy suggests that a language is more efficient if it uses a smaller number of phonemes. You can understand this concept by with this example. If one linguist analyzes a language in terms of 30 phonemes and another analysis the same language in terms of 27 phonemes, then the latest analysis is the better one. Then the latter's analysis is the better one. So it means analysis with 27 phonemes is economical here. Simply, you can get this point as instead of using two phonemes, instead of using two symbols, if you use one symbol, that is economical. Recognizing length, you can see that two dots within that slash line, that symbol as a phoneme in English aligns with the principle of economy. Instead of having multiple symbols to represent different lengths of vowels, using that length, that symbol as a distinct phoneme, reduce the number of phonemes needed. So this makes the phonemic system more efficient and easier to learn and use. In next slide. In general, list of fricative clusters may be treated as unit phonemes, it and it, on the basis of pattern congruity. So we know this, what are the list of fricatives. So the clusters like it and it transcribe as a single phoneme, it and it. So respectively, you can see this it means that voiceless post-alveolar affricate. So then it is a voiced post-alveolar affricate. So instead of using that, it, you can use that the symbol like simple C, that, and instead of using that it voiced post-alveolar affricate, you can use the symbol in the simple J like. So it is a letter in Latin alphabet derived from J with the addition of caron. Caron is a diacritic mark that commonly placed over certain letters to indicate the change of the related letters pronunciation. So you can see that transcribe easily with that equation mark. So you can see the examples also. Choose as that with that one single phoneme, and also catch and gem. Instead of using this voiced post-alveolar affricate, you can transcribe it as a single phoneme with that gem. So then I'm going to sum up this presentation. Next slide. So phonemic analysis involves identifying distinct phonemes in a language to understand its sound system. And phonemic congruity emphasizes choosing phonemic analysis that result in balanced and symmetrical patterns. And economy in phonetic analysis suggests selecting simpler analysis that minimize the number of phonemes. So these principles help linguists and learners understand how sounds are organized and perceived in different languages. So this is all about phonemic principles of pattern congruity. Under that, I'm talk about principle of pattern congruity and the principle of economy. Thank you everyone for being here and listen to my presentation. Thank you.